Bernadette Fielding, and this week I've brought my team to Hull and to a place that's no stranger to death. In fact, this will be the very first time in the history of Most Haunted that we will be investigating a funeral parlour. Once forming part of Hull Citadel, this unique listed building was constructed in the late 1800s. It has housed many businesses over the years, including a photographer's and a hairdresser's. But perhaps the most famous is that of a funeral parlour and livery. On the first floor are the stables that once housed magnificent horses that used to pull the hearses containing bodies onto their final resting place. The building and courtyard house an embalming room and a refrigeration room that are now visited by alleged ghosts of the past. The building has a connection with a tragic murder. Mary Jane Langley visited the building to have her photograph taken. It was the last place she was seen alive. Her body was found in a ditch in Long Lane, Preston on July the 30th, 1891. Due to a bungled investigation, the police never found her killer. A fantastic history with supernatural accounts that make your hair stand on end. Poltergeist activity, disembodied voices and dragging noises are just a few of the alleged phenomena that occurs here on a regular basis. Before bodies were buried or cremated, they would have to be stored in a cold place. Well, this refrigeration room throughout the years would have housed hundreds of bodies, so it's no wonder that this small room is a place to be feared in the dead of night. Now, I've got a plan that the team are going to hate, but you are going to absolutely love. Somebody is going to draw the short straw and have to spend some time on this very comfortable gurney in this horrible room alone. No is not an option. Throughout the 19th and early 20th century, the main form of transport for funerals was, of course, horsepower. And the Allison had plenty of horses and they were all stabled here. Of course, it's empty now, but it's certainly not quiet. Whistling noises, knocking noises, heavy booted footsteps are often heard. But are these noises just echoes of the past? Or is there something more sinister lurking in the shadows? This room is where cadavers were embalmed, lifeless corpses waiting for their last journey. It's just an empty room now, but many people have reported dark moving shapes and thudding noises. But who haunts here and why? Mick Covell has a special interest in the history of the Allison funeral parlour and the ghostly phenomena that occurs here regularly.
Allisons Stables and Courtyard was built on the site of the North Blockhouse, which was a part of the fortifications in Hull. The Allison company moved here just after 1870, after the Great Fire of Witham, and set up basically a coach building and wheelwright business, and gradually moved into the funeral business and began with their own kind of undertakers here. Interestingly, as well as it being a funeral home and having a number of bodies brought here, when it was the blockhouses, there were a number of Catholics that were held on this site and killed on this site. The stables are one area that you'll probably have knocks and taps. Certainly in the Hayloft, we've had people report seeing a gentleman crawling along the floor in there. And this was spotted by numerous individuals on separate occasions. We've also heard some rather loud bangs, doors moving, footsteps on the stairs, a general feeling of unease. In the stable area, people have reported feeling sick. Mary Jane Langley was 18 years old and she'd basically travelled into Hull from a small village on the outskirts called Preston to have a photograph taken at Mr Edmund's photography shop. After having a photograph taken, she left and travelled back home, and on the way home she had her throat cut and she was left in a ditch, murdered. So she visited this place just before she was murdered in 1891. There's been some unusual activity. In terms of Mary Jane, several people hear things that you can't possibly explain, and I've heard things that I'm still looking for an explanation for now, years later, but certainly you guys are in for a real treat.
As always, it was good to see that our regular skeptic Glenn Hunt was on hand to look at the logical side of things.
Glenn, this is a first for Most Haunted, really exciting. We've never done a funeral home before, and I'm hoping that we're going to get some great stuff tonight.
Well, being a funeral home, I'm actually quite sceptical about this, because surely the last place on the planet you'd imagine to be haunted would actually be a funeral home. Because if you think about it, people die elsewhere, and then they just bring bodies here, don't they? So ultimately, this is a place of rest. Why would it be haunted?
Oh, Glenn. Oh, Glenn. What a shame.
What?
What do you think was here before the funeral parlour?
Fields?
Well, actually, there was a prison here.
Okay.
Right, so that puts a completely different spin on it, doesn't it? A prison where people died, people were tortured, and I'm a firm believer of what happened on the ground, what happened on the land beforehand, that could make hauntings occur.
Well, I suppose if you're that mindset now that you're already thinking to yourself, well, it's obviously a place of doom, you're going to expect doom and gloom when you come here tonight and investigate the place. It's already a bit disorientating anyway, because the stables are on the upper ground, whereas the ground floor is where the carriages used to be.
Yeah.
So when you're wandering around in the dark, where you think you should be up, you should be down. That will add to the fear factor, presumably, and with your mindset of thinking this has got to have been a place where horrible things have happened, then ultimately you're going to expect the worst, aren't you?
So there's lots of really spooky places here. You've got the embalming room and the refrigeration room. I mean, the whole place to me is just a really creepy experience.
Well, the things you're referring to are supposedly taken place before it was a funeral parlour. So if you strip away the cold room and the place where they'd lay out the bodies, then surely the place is a little less scary, isn't it?
Well, we shall see. I've got an experiment where we're all going to draw straws, and the person with the shortest straw is going to end up spending some time alone on the mortuary slab in the refrigeration room, in the dark, in a haunted room.
Right, well, that psychologically would be an interesting experiment, because obviously your mind will be working overtime. And I know it'll seem uncomfortable knowing full well what took place in that particular room as a funeral parlour. You've got to set that aside and just imagine it as an ordinary room. It's eerie, but that doesn't necessarily make it haunted.
So, how do you think you would feel if you got picked tonight?
Well, I could be scared, and that's probably because I am a skeptic, not a cynic. If I was a cynic, I'd just dismiss everything and just rule everything out. But as a skeptic, you've got to have a healthy, open mind. You know, you can sit on the fence and look at both sides of the argument. And if something unusual does go on, yeah, I'm human, so ultimately I might be scratching my head wondering what it is, but I suppose that's what I want to happen, so then I can find out even more exactly what's going on around here.
Scratching your head, you'll be screaming like a baby.
It was time for myself and the rest of the team to look around the location with the lights on.
These really are the most remarkable stables I think I've ever seen. They're just so clean.
Yeah, they
As
are, aren't they?
stables go.
Well, I don't think there's any horses been in here for quite some time.
No, that's true. But isn't it amazing? This is on the first floor. So the
Well, I was
horses
gonna
would
say, yeah.
come up the stairs and be housed here. The thing is, when the lights are off in this place, it's pitch black. You can't see a hand in front of your face. I mean, we are close to a main road, so you can hear sort of cars going by and things like that. But there's a lot of strange noises here. Footsteps are heard, dark shadows are heard, whistling, knocking noises.
It's quite echoey though, obviously, so sound can bounce around off the brick walls and off the stone floor, so it does carry.
But what I find fascinating is lots of visitors that come here and they'll spend the night or whatever, and they'll do little investigations, and they will report the same things, which I find very interesting. Rather than sporadic situations occurring, they're all the same things that are happening at the
There's
same
a
time.
lot of different periods here as well, because not only was the horses for the funeral parlour, the mounted police here kept their horses up here after that. But before that, going back a few hundred years, there was part of a castle here where the Protestants killed the Catholic priests here as well.
Yeah.
So we've got all that to look forward to that was on this ground before this place was here.
Yeah, so it's not just a funeral parlour,
It's a
it
lot of
goes
other
back.
things,
Anyway,
yeah.
let's go and look at some other places.
Okay.
What you've got to remember about this place is that there's a lot of newness here. The timbers, the brickwork, it's all pretty new. But you've got to remember what was here before. There's lots of things that will be coming forward that was here before, hundreds of years over the, in the past.
And also, this is a fantastic place for activity because people hear footsteps, and because it's so echoey and so loud. And if you're on your own in here, I mean, it's got to be a really creepy place for you to be in here on your own.
You can feel it feels icy already, doesn't it, in here?
It is cold outside. We're very close to the outside. There's no heating. Having a coffin here, that's quite emotive. That gives you a sense of your own mortality, doesn't it? Really,
I know, and it's a very nice coffin actually. It's really quite. But you're right. These are sort of trigger objects, aren't they?
Exactly.
That people go, oh gosh, it's a coffin.
They're going to
conjure up things in your mind anyway when you see something like that.
And I think that somebody should lie in here as we're leaving.
Good idea.
Okay, off you go.
No. And I am just going to choose Eamon. Come on, quick, let's get in. Yes, come on. Come on.
Okay.
How do you feel about that? Have you ever been in a coffin before?
No, I think, no, I haven't.
It's not the kind of thing you make a habit of, is it?
No.
Are you a bit shocked at that?
Yeah, this is nice.
Okay. We're going to leave you in here, turn off the lights, leave a camera.
Oh, this is...
It's not going to feel nice though, remember,
This
because
is quite cosy.
it's going to...
Eamon, are you happy?
Yeah, go on, I'll give it a go.
But it'll be quite claustrophobic, so your mind won't like it.
You okay,
anyway.
Eamon?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, you okay?
Oh, wow.
Are you all right?
Right, come on, let's leave him. Let's go.
You okay?
Yeah, it's not nice. Not nice at all.
Come on, let's go. Now this room, very similar to the last one, is, again, you get a lot of knocking noises, a lot of strange whistling sounds, groaning sounds, but underneath this floor is where the embalming would have been, which I wonder whether that's got a lot to do with the activity that we're getting. Did somebody die in this area? Why is there a lot of activity, do you think?
Somebody may have died here a few hundred years ago, perhaps, but not when it was a funeral parlour, because they came here after they died.
Yeah.
Which is the point I was making earlier.
Yes, yeah.
So we're looking at a bit further back than that, perhaps.
Yeah.
But there was a young girl that came in to have a photograph done downstairs. About half an hour later, she was found with a throat slit. So that's one person that they've never found the person that did it.
But not here. The body wasn't found here.
No, this was the last place she came, and probably it was a picture for her mother or something like that, and it was a nice place that she came to have that done, so good memories may bring her back here.
And a lot of people have actually picked up on her, haven't they, through sort of contact boards and so on. They've picked up on her personality and her name.
Mary Jane Langley.
Right, OK. Well, it'd be interesting to see if she comes through this evening, won't it?
Very
I want to turn all the lights off in the building, get cracking straight away. I can hear tapping. I know you can't. I can hear knocking already.
Very easy with this wooden floor, I remember, and the crew just walking around.
Well, there's no one walking around at the moment, though. Everybody's standing still.
Listen. Hang on a minute. There.
Oh, yeah, I heard two taps there.
Is anybody moving around?
Shh, just quiet, just quiet.
It's like the heartbeat sound I got a while ago, isn't it?
So now you can see nobody's moving about. Hello, can you hear me? Let's turn all the lights off in the building. It's starting. Ready?
Before we do that, do we think we should get Eamon out of that coffin?
Why? Coffin's never hurt anyone.
Oh, that's unfair, Fred.
Evil.
I've never been in a coffin before. I don't think I'll get in one ever again.
Did you call? Well, yeah. Did you call out?
I did. I didn't hear anything.
Nothing.
But you can't really hear too much in here anyway.
No.
So it really is deadly silent.
Come on.
It was time to turn off all the lights and begin our night vision investigation. Carl, Greg, Stuart and Fred went into the chapel area. Leah, Darren, Greg and myself investigated the back corridors and stairs, whilst Eamon monitored our EVP experiments.
Can you knock 4 times if you can hear me?
Yes.
That was 4 knocks, definitely. I heard that clear. Where did you think that came from?
It's around here somewhere.
The trouble is, the first few felt like they came from around this area, but then it seemed to sort of...
It kind of tapers off, doesn't it? But it's quite a... It's like you can almost feel the vibration coming right under your hands when they're knocking. So
But this is what gets me. When we've experienced it, we sort of say it feels like it's coming from underneath.
yeah.
And a lot of people who've experienced this have said it's come from underneath. But then...
2, that was 3
when you
knocks.
kind of almost pinpoint you'll go, right, actually, no, it's here.
Yeah.
The strongest part is here. It'll come out the wall.
Yeah.
And that's the... So if you're here, can you... You need to know who you are. It's constantly known. We need to communicate. I tell you what, there's a table in the other room. Why don't you try a seance in there?
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Stu?
Yeah, I'll do it.
When you get scared, then did you not hear that?
What?
Did anybody hear it?
I don't know what you mean.
Coming up the stairs, I just heard.
No, I didn't hear that. Like a groaning voice
Yeah,
in your...
it's not floorboards or anything like that. It was a.
No.
I wonder if you hear that back in the edit. When you get scared, then when you get scared, then I was definitely like a human. Coming first.
Can you knock 4 times if it's you, Mary Jane?
4 definite knocks.
Now that... Does that not sound like it's coming from the table?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to find more activity tonight. Good question.
Do you want to ask, or would you rather not?
I'll
From a sceptical point of view?
Yeah, okay. Okay. 2 knocks for yes, please. 1 knock for no. Are we going to have any more activity this evening? Was that 2 knocks for no?
2 knocks. You said 2 knocks for yes, 1 knock for no.
Okay. Can you knock on the walls loudly? What was that?
That was like something on the door, but there's no one there.
No one there would see it.
For the first time tonight, I'm actually starting to feel a bit funny, a bit freaky.
With Eamon at the central hub monitoring everything that was going on, I was keen to find out if we had captured any voice phenomena.
Okay, what have you got?
So this is really interesting. When you went upstairs, when you were just here,
Yeah.
I thought I'd record without any white noise. It's always a good way to see if there is anything really active that doesn't require any kind of extra energy. So here's the recording, and I want to highlight this waveform here. That's you saying hello.
Yeah.
And that's your response here. So have a listen to this. So this was just talking. So we're just about to hear you say hello, and then you get a strong yes. So
Wow.
that's not a bad start, really. I'm going to
Wow.
see what else we can.
Wow,
we can
that's
get.
great. That's really
That's a really
great.
good one. So I'll play that again. That was a really good. This is when you went upstairs,
Okay.
and I thought I'll record you guys asking questions.
Oh, I see. So you
I
can
caught with
just
that.
about hear
Yeah,
us
yeah.
upstairs.
That was
Just
amazing.
picking up of that. You can hear. She's actually quite distant on here,
Yeah.
but the response.
It's clear.
Yeah, basically.
I
You
wa-
say hello and we get a yes.
I wonder if it means that they're channeling all their energy into here rather than making the noises where we are.
Or whatever, however we're picking it up, it doesn't need a spot. It's just there. It's in the whole of the ether. And
Yeah.
We just happen to be tapping into it.
Yeah.
We can't hear it,
Yeah.
but whatever that whatever you're picking up on, it's interacting with.
Yeah. Well, this is it, and I think what I'm going to do is I'll probably spend most of my time in here, just while everybody's asking questions, I'll see
Yeah.
what kind of responses
That would
I
be
can
brilliant,
get.
yeah.
And if I get anything else interesting, I'll give you guys a shout.
Great.
Brilliant.
Let's go and get the
So-
others and then we'll swap over.
With voices coming through, I knew we could get more, so I left Eamon in charge and joined Carl. He'd seemed to have made contact with an entity that was keen to give us information. By using the Ouija board, we could hopefully find out who or what was talking to us.
So this is where you were with Fred and everyone?
Exactly where we were, Glenn, myself and Fred and Stuart, and we heard the knocks, but they were coming from the table, not from the floor.
Was that-
We did hear knocks coming from the floor.
No, that was Lee's feet.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. Touch your feet to my feet.
Oh, who's that from?
Just put your...
Glenn, put your feet like this.
What was that, Carl?
What was that?
Knock again.
Over here.
Oh, it's from the front door.
It's funny, we're hearing knocks, but we're all hearing them from different areas.
Yeah. There's the tapping behind Leah.
What the It was actually underneath me.
Did you feel it?
I don't know because I'm too scared to feel anything.
It's Mary Jane, isn't it? Mary Jane, is that you?
It's underneath my feet.
This
and
is
I'm
what we
not
had before.
joking. It's actually under my feet.
This is what I was saying before.
It's really scary. Me. Can I look on the floor?
Yep.
Stuart's got it.
And can I just move my feet? I'm putting my feet on the table. This is. It's underneath.
I heard that.
Yeah.
It is actually vibrating.
Move it back.
What's vibrating, Leo?
I don't know. It's just something underneath me. Whatever is banging underneath.
It's
my
like you
chair.
can feel the floorboards vibrating.
Yeah, I can feel it. I know it sounds funny. I can actually feel it on my bum because it's on my chair.
Mary Jane, I've got to ask, who killed you? Do you have his name, Mary Jane?
Tapping. D. E. Yeah. Can't move the glass for some odd reason.
It's like something stopping the glass.
Yeah.
D-E-D was that?
Or D-E-E.
D. Deem?
Oh well, that's who. Yeah, that's one.
Was
of the,
it?
One of the suspect. Well,
Really?
Well, if it carries on,
D.
there's more to it than just that. But there's.
I'm going to put my fingers like this to weight it down, but I'm obviously not moving it. Deem. I. That doesn't work. N. Demon.
So I'm actually hardly touching this.
Yeah, I'm
glass
hardly
at all.
touching it.
Demon. Deeming.
Was it Frederick Deeming?
It's a tapping again.
Tapping. Can you just answer yes on the board? Was it Frederick Deeming? Yes.
Did he kill others?
You know more questions.
I know, and there's one I want to ask.
Go on then.
Okay. Was he Jack the Ripper? Oh, okay, he was. Did you die in 1892?
No.
Did you die in 1871? Did you die in 1891?
Is that correct?
Yeah. That's why I took my finger off when it started to move.
Okay.
How many people did he kill? Was it just you? How many people did he kill? 8 people.
Do you need help? Oh. Oh, lovely. Why do you need help?
Oh, question you were asked earlier. Is he still here with you? Is he around you?
No, that's so sad.
Is this because no one's heard your voice? Is that why he's still here? He can't move on and you can't? Because no one's heard your voice?
What do you mean?
Well, if it's always been seen as an unsolved crime, but because the police made such a bodge up of the investigation, that apparently the only piece of evidence they took to court with them was a twig that they measured his boot print with.
Right.
So it was thrown out. There was no case to answer to, and so her voice, because she was murdered, was never heard. And I think that's gone through history. And if she's saying he did kill her, I know there's not a lot we can do legally on a Ouija board. We can't, but.
Can we not help you? Can we not do something? Surely, now, can we not send you?
He can't hurt you again.
He can't hurt you, but can we not just help you cross over? We can do that. We can do that now.
After helping the alleged spirit of Mary Jane Langley to cross over, I decided that Stuart and Carl should join me in the Hayloft area, where the ghost of a man has been seen crawling along the floor. The atmosphere was beginning to change, and it wasn't for the better.
Feeling really nervous. I feel like I've not been comfortable here since the moment we set foot in this place.
Are you annoyed at something, or?
I'm not. No, it's just this feeling of I'm not comfortable, and I feel something's going to happen. I don't know what it is. I think there's something nasty.
I felt that there was something negative. Ooh, I can feel that under my feet. Do you mean us harm? Who are you? Are you a murderer?
I think you've just hit the nail on the head.
What?
I'm not psychic, as you know. When you just said that, something's just hit me.
What?
Well, what did we do on the Ouija board?
Picked up on the murderer.
Jack the Ripper?
Jack the Ripper?
No, the guy who's
What's
been
his
named
name?
Frederick Bailey Deeming.
Is that you, Frederick? Oh, you don't like it, do you? Because we've named you, we've outed you. Murderer?
Oh. There was 2 there. There was a huge one in here and one in there at exactly the same time.
Well, that's why I panned. That's why I panned over there, Carl.
Yeah, there was 2. There was 2 exactly the same time.
That one did. That's why I panned to that direction near the coffin, because it was distant. If you're here, please do something else for us rather than tap on the floor.
That's the coffin.
That is the coffin.
Put your hand on the coffin.
That's the coffin. Yes.
Wow. What?
You can actually feel.
Yeah.
You can actually feel that through your hand. Yeah.
What you say I'm lining for?
Do you want the lid on you, Carl?
Yeah, no.
Would you like that on? If you hold the camera, I'll do that.
Okay.
Right?
Listen. That's the coffin.
Coming from the coffin.
Listen, can you hear it?
Yeah.
Can you hear this?
Yeah.
Okay, Frederick. Do your worst, you
Happy?
Very far from happy, mate, but...
Right.
Just make sure you can take this off if I...
Yeah. It's on.
Can you hear my voice, Frederick? If you can, then please make a noise. Oh.
I think you can hear it, yes.
No, I've got my hand flat on the coffin and we can feel scratching and tapping.
I'm hearing like a rubbing sound on the lid. Oh, Frederick. Can you hear that sound?
Yeah. You alright? You okay? What happened?
Did anyone speak then?
No one said a word, Carl. No one said a word.
What did you get? What did you hear?
What did you hear? Something in there. None of you was close there and said out.
We were literally on the coffin, but we never said a word.
Like it was like on the lid, and it went out. As clear as day. As clear as day.
No.
That's not right.
We never heard anything.
No,
just the scratching, just the scratching.
Do you reckon we got that on camera, Stuart?
We would have done, yes. Yep. Who's that?
What's happened? Oh.
It's okay, it's alright.
You alright?
It's fine.
We just had Carl went in the coffin and there's we caught on camera scratching noises.
Where's Carl gone?
You know when you let your arms down like that,
Yeah.
you can't physically do that. Yeah. Right where his head was, there was scratching noises and tapping, and we caught it on camera.
But then something in there said out, and I thought it was Stuart, with his face close to the
coffin lid.
Coffin lid, and it was just freaked me the crap out, and I had to get out of there because there was something in that coffin with me. There's hardly enough room for me in there.
Yeah. Did you say Fredrickson was his name? The killer?
Frederick Bailey Deeming is the person, and I said to him, if it is you, do your worst, and I.
Isn't it interesting? You come to a place like this and
The whole floor bounced.
What, before Leah moved? And
Yeah.
I felt it underneath my foot.
I've just got Carl jumping. Why, I don't know. Why did you, Carl?
No, I
felt like the floor physically pushed it.
You felt it.
Well, I didn't feel it under me. I felt it coming from there, and then these two moved almost immediately afterwards.
The floor seemed like it raised.
Yes.
And something grabbed hold of my arm at the same time, and but the floor seemed to, and in my mind I'm probably exaggerating it, but it seemed to come up a good 6 inches.
Yeah.
It was that.
That's exactly what.
What do you make to that then, Glenn?
That is, it's remarkable.
As remarkable as this was, none of us had any idea what was about to happen. But first, one of us had to go it alone in the refrigeration room. But who?
Right, I have come up with a plan, and you're not going to like it, but I think it's a really good plan. I would like somebody to pick a piece of paper. Whoever has got a piece of paper with a black spot on it is the person that has to go and spend some time on their own in a very dark room. It's the refrigeration room on an embalming table where hundreds and hundreds of bodies would have been laid out, and you have to go, and it's haunted, you have to spend some time in there. So I'm going to pick the first piece of paper. Please don't let it be me. It's not me.
It's not me.
Okay. Yes! Fred, that's great. I mean, that's awful. Okay, Fred, so if you go off on your own now, good luck, enjoy, okay. And the rest of us, I think, will split up and start our vigils.
Let's hope we pick up some nice demons.
I don't think he's going to survive the night.
I'm glad it wasn't me.
Meanwhile, Carl and Stuart seemed to be drawn back to the corridors and stairs. Would whatever had frightened Carl make itself known to Fred?
Now I'm off to the room where the bodies were stored, and we'll see what happens in here when I call out for a few things. Well, this is the table. By the looks of it, where they were laid out. It's very dark in here.
Oh, you locked off cameras in the corner.
So cold.
Just as soon as you walk into this place, it's a bit...
funny, isn't it? You know, when you come in these places, when you come in en masse, it's not too bad.
Already? What is that?
To be honest, that actually...
That's downstairs.
I can't tell where that's coming from, if the truth was to be known.
Get down these stairs.
Lift camera.
This...
That's my shadow.
No, that's down there, Stu.
It is. Yeah, I think you're right there, pal. Go on.
Oh, crying out loud.
What? So,
I just saw that there's a dark shape there, and it's the coffin lid. I actually...
Oh, yes. I see. If you're coming down on your own without one of these cameras, you'd think it was someone stood there.
How are you feeling, Dennis, Stu?
Well, if I'm going to be totally honest, I don't feel too good. Hang on. That's upstairs, pal.
No, that's downstairs, mate.
No, it's upstairs.
This is what gets me with this. I would...
Ask out.
That's just what I feel. Is there any spirit here? Please, can you make a sound? Not once for yes. Sorry, once for no, twice for yes. Do you want us here?
Did you hear something then?
That was a knock.
No,
that was downstairs.
It was a bang.
Yeah.
It was a slight bang. Did you hear that?
Yeah, that was downstairs. Where do you think it was from?
I don't know, I just heard a knock.
Conjuro vos santanas plaudire. Come forward and see me. Let me prove to them all that you're there. A lot of people don't believe in you. Show yourself or do something to prove you're here. To prove that you are around, really. What was that? Well, if that's you, you certainly showed yourself then. Can you do that again? This is getting very, very, very hot in here now. I'm gonna have to close this down. I'm gonna close this down now. I'm going back out.
Right, Stu.
So do your absolute worst. We don't mind. Leave everyone else alone. But come and get me and Carl.
Crying out loud, it's gone cold. Really cold in here quickly when you said that. Hello?
I think you're right, Carl.
What a small room. It's horrible in here.
So it must have just been this whole area at the bottom without the stairs.
Yeah, embalming. Is there any spirit here? Listen to those noises, listen to those bangs.
I can hear that. That's coming from upstairs, would you say?
We've got a lock-off camera right at the top.
Yeah. Do something to one of us. Give Carl a slap round the face. So we know you're here. Give him a good hard slap. We're not frightened of you. I'm not. Nor's Carl.
No.
What? No, what?
I'm not frightened of you.
No.
I need to talk to you about the slap thing.
Well, we've got to do it. It's just one of the things that has to be done.
Well, isn't the conversation...
All right, slap both of us
slap
then.
me around the face, not me as in me, but when you're saying it, me.
Well, he might slap me.
'Cause-
Might be reverse psychology. I'm acting as the bully now, aren't I? Slap Carl, he might slap me. If that makes sense. I know what I'm talking about. You might not, but I do.
Mate, I'm with you.
Listen, every time we go off on our own and we do our thing, and we call out and we say bad things, I won't repeat it on camera, things do happen.
They do.
Not every time, but 99% of the time, things will go down. And that's what we're hoping for now.
Oh, see how you feeling now?
Just take the camera off me, mate.
How are you feeling? You've been out of breath. Yeah, the trouble is, I'm out of breath, but it's not because I'm unfit. It's just this. It takes the wind out of you, this place. You all right, man?
Yeah.
What
This is how I felt. That's coming from upstairs.
Dragon sound, there's a dragon
Upstairs,
sound.
quick, go on. Quick, go.
I'm going as fast as I can, I can't see anything.
Hello?
Is anyone up there?
Yvette, are you there? Hello?
Just panning the camera.
Definitely heard. It sounded to me
We've
like
got the
a
lock
drag,
off, so we'll see anything.
like something's being pulled, dragged or pushed. I can't see a thing, mate. You're my eyes.
I can't.
Yeah, let me have the camera.
All I can see is shadow.
Where? Where's the shadow?
Otherwise, this makes a noise. That
Okay.
top bit.
It's just our
It's our
shadow.
shadows,
Yeah. Just infrared. Right, you tell me what you heard.
I heard it was like a short dragging sound. And the trouble is, I know we're in a.
Let me just sit down a sec. I need to get my breath. Go on.
I know we're in a funeral parlour, but I want to say it's like a body or a coffin or something across the floor.
Yeah, but there is a coffin here, though.
But that's downstairs. It wasn't right above us. It was definitely up here. God, you know, this place is freaking me out. Shall we get back? Because you're not in a good state. I'm not in a good state.
No, I'm getting my chest are getting more and more tighter now.
Come on, mate. I'm calling this. I'm going to take this. You can't.
What are we doing? Are we going on?
No, let's. I think we should get back. Yeah. You're not in a good state.
Come on, let's go. Let's go.
It was only until we got into the edit that we discovered what that dragging noise was.
Dragon sound. There's a dragon sound.
Upstairs, quick. That's coming from upstairs.
Dragon sound. There's a dragon sound.
Upstairs, quick.
This footage has been carefully analysed, and what we can say is that there doesn't seem to be a logical explanation for this strange occurrence. Could it be the building vibrating from a passing vehicle, as has been suggested, or is it paranormal? You decide. Our EVP experiments seem to have been successful, and Eamon was keen to show me the results.
Okay, what did we get?
Right, well, we got some really good voices actually that came through. This was interesting because when Fred was asking questions earlier, we got something saying, "Say what you want to me."
Oh,
That's quite interesting.
really interesting. That's just
So that obviously links up with Fred. When he was on his own and we've left the
in the
recorders
refrigeration
going.
room.
A lot of people don't believe in you. Show yourself or do something to prove you're here. A lot of people don't believe in you. Show yourself or do something to prove you're here.
Play it to me again.
So that's quite interesting, that.
Interesting. That's totally freaky. That's amazing.
That is
An exceptional night in an exceptional building. We had made contact with the alleged spirit of Mary Jane Langley. Fred Batt had summoned something dark and terrifying, and we had caught a chair moving on its own. What a night.
Was he Jack the Ripper?
When you get scared, then
Did you not hear that?
What was that?
I don't know because I'm too scared to feel anything.
Oh, Frederick, do your worst.
It's getting very, very, very hot in here now.
It's underneath my feet.
This
and
is
I'm
what we
not
had before.
joking.
That was amazing. The whole floor bounced.
What the It was actually underneath me.
Dragon sound. There's a dragon sound.
Upstairs, quick.
Until next time, sleep tight.
Leave a message as you go. Find the moment we're alone. Bye.